Hi, today I'm going to talk about the second quiz in Math 3, Unit 3, which is all about right triangle congruence. So we're going to learn about different theorems that can prove that two right triangles are congruent, meaning that they are the exact same shape, measurements for sides and angles and all of that, so they'll have the same area, all of those things. So to start off, two right triangles can be congruent through a number of theorems. One of the theorems which makes them congruent is by the leg theorem. So if they have two sides, they're non-hypotenuse sides that are, if both of those are congruent, then our right triangles are both congruent. So that's the leg theorem. We also have, if we have a side, let's see, erase one of those. Let's actually just erase both of those. So if we have a side, a leg, and the hypotenuse, that's the hypotenuse-leg theorem. Okay, now remember the hypotenuse sits across from the right angle. It's the largest side of your right triangle. So if we have hypotenuse and leg that are congruent, and they're represented by these little tick marks, then we have the hypotenuse, or they're congruent through the hypotenuse-leg theorem. We can also have congruence through leg-angle theorem. So disregard the hypotenuse. If you have a leg and an angle, your non-right angle, either this one or it could be that one up there, just not your right angle. So you have a leg and an angle, that's the leg-angle theorem. And you could also have your angle and your hypotenuse. Okay, that would be the hypotenuse angle theorem. These four conditions can guarantee that two right triangles are congruent. All right, so remember we had four theorems that can prove that two right triangles are congruent. That's the leg theorem, hypotenuse leg angle, and hypotenuse angle. Now these four theorems are related to triangle congruence theorems, and so I'm going to show you how they relate to those. So in this situation, this is two congruent triangles. They are congruent through angle, side. Okay, angle, side proves that these two are congruent. And so it's important to remember that when you're deciding if two triangles are congruent, you need to follow them in a circular pattern. You can't jump and skip from one angle to the side back to the angle. So we can go angle, side, angle. That doesn't work. We have to follow it clockwise or counterclockwise around the triangle. So we go angle to our next angle to our side. So angle, side. Now if we look at that, we have two angles and we have a side. So of these theorems, we know that we need to have an angle and a side in there, such as our hypotenuse angle. Okay, so this one is like a little hypotenuse angle, is like a special case of the angle side. Okay, so it relates to the angle side. All right, so the next examples we have side, angle, side. Okay, so side, angle, side, and this is also a special case of another one. So the side. These are two examples that can give you your special case. Notice we have two sides in each of these. This one has three sides, but has at least two. This one has two, so that relates to our leg theorem. So this is a special case of side, angle, side, and side. Okay, and then last of all, we have down here we have an angle, side. And we also have a angle, side, angle. Okay, so these ones, clearly we need an angle involved in there, and we also need a side. So that is our leg angle theorem. We have angle, angle side, and angle side angle. So those are the leg angle theorem is a special case of the angle, angle side, and angle side angles theorems. Okay, so I totally spaced it. I can't believe it. It was staring me in the face, but I missed it anyhow. The hypotenuse leg theorem. Spaced this one completely, and I'm sorry about that. Notice it has two sides, so we need two sides in it, and it's a special case of the side theorem. So the side theorem relates to two special right angle cases, the leg theorem and the hypotenuse leg theorem. Sorry about forgetting that. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few examples with you to identify if two right triangles are congruent or not. We still have our list of possible theorems that would make it possible. Possible theorems that would make it possible. That's silly. Okay, so we have these two right triangles, triangle LMO and triangle FGH. We need to decide if these two right triangles are congruent. We know that they are right triangles because of the marking, the square in these two corners or their angles. Okay, so we're going to decide, let's see. Now we have an angle here. We have angle L and angle F that we know are congruent. Do we know anything else besides a congruent angle? No, we know that, well, we do know that they are both right triangles. They have one congruent angle, but nothing else has been given to us. So one angle, one non-right angle is not enough to determine congruence. So these two triangles are not congruent. Now another example is if instead of being given an angle, if we were given two sides and all we had were what was one side of congruence, it wouldn't be enough, no matter where that side was, if it were a leg or if we were given a hypotenuse. Okay, no matter what side of the triangle we're given, it is not enough. One side of congruence is not enough to determine right triangle congruency. One angle is not enough. We need a side and an angle, a hypotenuse and an angle, leg angle, hypotenuse and leg, or both the legs given to us to determine congruency. Okay, so here is a new example. So we have triangle XYZ, and we're going to compare it to triangle RST. And I actually forgot to add a bit of information. My bad. Here we have, okay, so now we have our complete picture. So we have angle R and angle X are given to us as congruent. We also have side or leg ST and leg YZ that are congruent. So we have one leg and one angle, one non-right angle, one non-hypotenuse side, and we know, therefore, that they are congruent by our leg angle theorem. Okay, so I want to go over, so using the same triangles, I've now erased congruency. We're going to decide if they are congruent given other bits of information. So if we were given that both legs of the triangles were congruent, so leg ST is congruent to YZ, leg RT is congruent to leg XZ, that would be two legs, and that would give us congruency. Or perhaps instead of two legs, we have a hypotenuse and a leg. That would also give us triangle congruency. Okay, my third example is when we are given two triangles and we have all three sides given to us as congruent. So side or leg SQ is congruent to leg LJ, leg RS is congruent to leg KL, and our hypotenuse QR is congruent to the hypotenuse JK. And no, I'm not just kidding. All right, so what we're asked to do is we are to determine which theorems are true or would allow these to be congruent. Hopefully there is one that is jumping right out at you. I mean, we have been given all three sides on these triangles, so that would be side, side, side. That triangle congruence theorem would prove that these two triangles are congruent. And since side, side, side relates to hypotenuse leg, then we can take that as a triangle congruence that we might be able to use. They are right triangles, so it's allowable. We also know side, side, side relates to our leg theorem. So that allows us as well to, or a triangle congruence that will also work. Now, here's the thing. We also have right angles that are given to us. So they are, both of them, 90 degrees. That means those two angles, angle S and angle L, are congruent. So we have side, angle, side given to us, which is right here. So side, angle, side is another theorem that we can use, which is okay because look, it relates to the leg theorem. So many ways to connect these together. Okay, so I've gone over right triangle congruence for you. If you have any further questions, leave a comment or let your teacher know when they call in to check on how you're doing and have them relay the message to me, whatever. Email me something to let me know what you need further help with. I'm happy to make more videos for you. Just let me know which ones you really need right now. Okay? Happy studying. We miss you guys. I miss you so much. I wish we were in the classroom together today rather than having to do this. Oh well. See you soon.